Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, and we would like for you to watch us. So just head over there, like and subscribe. Search for @Tom and Dan Live if you want to catch all the behind-the-scenes stuff and the live feed straight from the studio.
So our Bad at Business Beer Fest is this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely free beer fest.
It is.
We have over 30 different breweries and brands that are giving free samples.
Some seltzer, some cocktails in there. There's
There's a THC seltzer this year.
There's a bunch of different stuff in there.
A lot of local craft breweries and just different alcohols that you can sample.
Ones that we know, some Wayne Dench ones, a lot of good stuff.
We start at 12 handing out the sample cups. We have gift bags, 500 gift bags starting at 12. And when those run out, you still have sample cups and wristbands. But the gift bags will have gifts from sponsors in them. So I suggest just showing up at 12, getting your gift bag, then enjoying Sanford, maybe hit up Celery City, West End, grab some drinks, some food, then come back.
I would get some food. I'd get a base. I'd go to my favorite eatery or a nice little, little small little place to grab a snack there. I'd get a nice base, make my way over with my cup and my wristband.
We're going to have a lot of our sponsors out setting up tents that you can, they'll be giving out stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I know the Science Center's coming out. Mo DeWitt, Bussecker they bought a popcorn machine. Bussecker's like, I'm going to give out some Mo popcorn.
That's unnecessary. I like it. I like it.
And we got some merch and some T-shirts. The event shirts are for sale.
Bussecker looks oddly like the man that owned the popcorn store here in Orlando.
Oh, the little nerdy white guy?
The nerdy white guy that owned Colonel Encore.
Yeah. Well, now I can't say what his wife looks like.
You can't. Oh, sorry.
So
I think they're still online, those people.
Also at 2 p.m., we've got a live band.
We do.
The Silver Linings Band.
Yeah, the Silver Lining Band is, they're good, man. And they do like their brand of covers where they kind of do, it's almost like a playlist.
Yeah,
and they kind of morph it together. It's really, really fun.
You could yell out requests, and they will attempt to play whatever song you yell out.
Apparently that's a thing.
And we have live music, and then, of course, a bunch of food trucks and vendors, and this is a big street party. Then the very next day is Sofa and Suds, the Sanford Couch Races. The weather is going to be unbelievable this weekend.
It's going to be so good.
I think it's a high of like 68 on Saturday, and then like 72 on Sunday.
That is
perfect
Beer Fest weather. That is perfect Beer Fest weather.
So we lucked out. I was looking at that storm for a second, and I was like, please don't. I mean, because I'm never doing this again. If a storm,
I knew you were.
If a storm rolls through and then it's horrible weather and the events are ruined,
and blows it into the sun.
I'm like, I'm done. I swear, I was gonna tell everybody, I'm not doing it anymore. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but this weather, we're doing it one more time.
Yeah.
One more time.
We just need people to show up. That's it.
Indeed.
I think at this point in time, we just are worried about people showing up. That's why we're doing a bunch of media.
Hey, grab your ID and come on out. We'd love to see you.
We have Chris Crespo here. How you doing, Chris?
What up?
From Cinema Crespediso podcast.
Very good to see you.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you, too.
We're going to talk some movies, but before we talk movies, we have to talk about the Tyson fight.
I'm glad that you're calling it the Tyson
fight.
Yeah, I'm glad you're calling it the Tyson fight, though, because putting his name first.
Well, he's the reason for the season.
He's the reason for the season.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I mean,
is he?
I don't know.
Also, I'm sure everybody saw it. Jake Paul won by decision. It's hard to even call that a fight.
Right.
It was the worst boxing match I ever witnessed. It
was the worst streaming event I've ever witnessed. I mean, the ladies.
Yeah, Daniel said he couldn't even watch it.
I mean, I think Chris and I are in the same boat.
I couldn't even stream it. Yeah,
I
it wasn't
couldn't
working
get
on my
Netflix
phone.
stability to settle. I watched it from my Xbox downstairs. Tried Netflix there. Then we tried Netflix Apple TV. That didn't work. Then we went upstairs and tried Netflix again, Apple TV upstairs. It's just nothing. It would play for like 15, 25 seconds, and then it would either buffer or it would pixelate or it would freeze or it would back out of the entire app itself.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people were having problems. I was getting the pixels, like it being all
you're lucky.
The lower quality.
pixelization.
You're
Yeah.
lucky. You're the lucky 1% if you could get the entire thing pixelated. You were watching the Minecraft.
Yeah, you could actually watch it.
Minecraft Tyson.
yeah, but it was going in and out. But I was able to watch it, and I was at the
Sweet Rosie Perez, massive boxing fighter.
Okay.
They had her on there.
Let's talk about it.
She's
all.
a huge boxing fan, but I wouldn't.
commentators.
Yeah, Morrow is a boxing guy. I also know him from WWE, the main commentator that looks like sort of like an aggressive nerd lead singer of the Descendants. Kind of looks like Milo, with the big glasses.
Yeah.
So okay, I a bunch of things.
Yeah,
But I thought about
Go
this
for
all
it.
weekend, and I watched the whole thing. And by the way, it started like they didn't even start fighting until 12:30 a.m.
Too late.
Yeah.
Way too
Yeah,
late.
way too late.
And so I thought I was gonna miss the fight. In fact, I text
he
Daniel.
texted me like 10:30, and I had already abandoned it.
I abandoned at like 10:30, 11. I was like, I can't keep doing this. I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I had to
yeah,
hit
the
the
fi-
A
the fight
buttons.
was 2 hours after that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was hitting the A button like 75 times. I was like, this is a job.
It was annoying. Oh my god.
So we got out of the Avett brother. We went to St. Augustine to watch the Avett brothers,
Nice.
and I was like, I saw that the whole event started at 8 o'clock. So we got out at 10, and then we went to Mellow Mushroom after, and then I was texting Daniel like, what happened to the fight? I couldn't see, and then I saw that it didn't even started yet.
Yeah.
Like Tyson is like
Yeah.
hours away.
Yeah.
and
I was probably already talking to my wife. I was I was already ready for bed, man.
So and the fight before, it's funny because when we got back to the hotel room, we left the kids at the hotel, and then we turned on Netflix, and it was spotty, but it played for us.
Nice.
But they had that the female fight before the Tyson fight.
Yeah, well, they
And-
also had that other fight, which was like a Middle Eastern influencer versus it was like two influencers
Okay.
from like India. I think they were trying to sort of capitalize on that huge, Indian population.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they-
the billions.
Yeah, and they had
Oh,
these
sure,
two
yeah.
Indian influencers. I mean, that fight was literally a nothing. The girl fight was good, and we were watching it, but again, it hold for like 40 seconds, and then
And then,
would dump
yeah,
us out.
Yeah.
And so that fight, I mean, it's funny because my sons ended up watching the Tyson
Oh,
fight.
cool.
And I kept telling them, I'm like, this is not boxing, kids. I'm like, the fight you saw before this, that was boxing.
That was a real boxing
I mean,
match,
where
yeah.
their blood, because I mean I forgot the Irish fighter's name that she won the fight, even though it looked like the Puerto Rican girl actually won the fight, and they gave it to the Irish lady.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
her-
A lot of people complained about that.
Her ears were bleeding during the
my
fight.
goodness.
The
It's like,
trainer,
excuse me, your brain is bleeding out of your ears, man.
the trainer was wiping blood from her neck, and I was like, "Where's this blood
yeah.
coming from?"
So
And
for
it's
every
like-
hole she has.
And so I'm like, that is what happens after a real fight.
Yeah.
Like what you saw Tyson and Jake Paul, that was a sparring match.
Pretty much.
That was a lazy sparring match.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you beat up old guys. You did it 20 years ago.
now, before the fight, of course, it made all the social media Tyson's big black ass when he turned
yeah.
around.
Oh, the thong. Yeah.
He's wearing the.
We got the slap it weigh in too. We got the slap it weigh in. Remember, everybody's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
slapped him. He's gonna kill him now."
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we saw his big black ass.
And so when that
A
happened,
lot smoother than my ass for his age.
For his age, yeah.
I will give him an award for a very smooth old man ass.
now that's
Still bulldoggy though.
I forgot what that like boxing jockstrap is called, but it's got the it's basically I think maybe it's just
Did you
called
see
the
at the
boxing
weigh-in? He grabbed
jockstrap.
his pecker and
Yeah, and like shook it at everyone.
shook it at everyone.
Yeah, during the weigh-in,
Oh, Maisie
yeah.
saw that too. Maisie goes, "What is he doing?" I'm like, "He's shaking his pecker."
So
It's a Michael Jackson tribute.
Yeah, you can't do that.
when Tyson did that, I was like, oh, he is well aware that he's got the boxing jockstrap on, his ass is exposed. Like, he's doing this for comedy.
Sure.
But then I
Or
was
for
like,
attention.
100% I thought he did it on purpose, right?
yeah. Well,
Because
like,
no matter what, even like as he's dying, he's still a sports jock. And those guys love walking around naked, right?
Especially
all of them.
When you're cut like he is now.
Yeah, I think
He's in the best shape of his life,
but
maybe.
I think everybody, girls and guys, I think that's a sportsman thing. I think once you've worked to a point Tom's there now. If Tom right now wants to show his,
he wants to strip down and shake it at us,
humiliate us with his body.
No. And I'd have to sit here and take it. Like, all right, you win, buddy.
We would have to take it.
I ran a marathon. I'm sorry.
So, a couple things. I saw a lot of people are like, "Oh, this, Tyson's old man. Like he's not that old."
No.
And based on his training videos, which obviously the whole internet's talking about, like, look at his training videos and watch the fight.
Yeah.
Why is it so different?
Completely different.
And so then everybody's like, "Oh, well, this was rigged. This was, which we talked about. There's scripted."
God, everything's rigged these days, right?
But I don't think it was scripted because this would be a horrible script. So right.
Yeah, it's a terrible ending.
Well, it's not scripted. They have to improv it. They just know, like, we got to go to distance. Don't knock each other out.
Yeah, but guess who's not a good actor? Tyson.
Neither of them.
Right?
Yeah.
He didn't seem. Did it not seem like you and I were talking a little bit about it this morning, and like I guess just to cut to the chase, it seemed as if Jake Paul wanted Tyson to more. Give me more.
Yeah.
But we weren't going to get more.
But
And
Tyson,
we got what we got.
Maybe Tyson was. This is just going into the whole conspiracy thing. Maybe Tyson was, quote, afraid to go in on Jake Paul. Goes like he hit him that one time. I saw some clips. He hit him in the first round. He jabbed him. Paul stumbled, and then he just like let him go and reset instead of following up with like an uppercut or something that he would normally do.
Right.
And then the rest of the match, he's like, well, I can't hit this guy that hard. He's a glass
And Tyson
jaw.
doesn't fight with a reset. Tyson usually, once he gets you stumbling, he just continues
He goes,
forward.
yeah. He's trying to end everything as normally he tries to end every match as quick as possible because he has asthma. He said this before. He likes to end matches in the first couple rounds because then he gasses out super fast. That's probably part of why they did 2-minute rounds, only 8 rounds.
Yeah.
So I'm going to distance. I can't go 12 rounds, 3 minutes, and at this age with asthma.
Although it did not seem like he was that gassed. Although
that one part where he started crying and screaming, did you see that where they zoomed in on him and he's sitting there and he's at the corner and he's sitting at the corner and then he goes and he does like a weird cry scream.
I did not see that.
Oh yeah, go back and look at that.
Wow.
It's weird.
So I'm commentating to my family as I'm watching this, and I'm watching this fight, and I'm like, oh,
lucky them. They got the real broadcast. Man, you should have taped that.
So I'm like, they're setting this up.
Tall Man Live, we've got Tyson up against Jake Paul.
Up in the ropes.
Because I was telling them,
He's doing the old rope down.
I was like, this is being set up for Tyson to knock Jake Paul out, and the last, like, they're making it look like he doesn't got it anymore. He's too super tired, and then I'm like, watch. I'm telling Crystal, Max, and Tommy, I'm like, he's gonna come out after round 6.
You're like trying to predict the script almost.
Yes, yeah. Because I'm like, there's no way that they both decided it was gonna be this boring the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that we can agree on. Yeah, that's why we all know that.
Like,
look,
Jake Paul wants it to be more entertaining than this.
There's 2 things that are absolutely definitives here. 1, they didn't want any streaming issues.
Yeah.
That was, and then 2, they wanted an exciting fight.
They wanted
Those are the 2 definitives.
And I think they blew it on both, it seems like.
Yeah.
Now the streaming issues may be a good thing for them because that means it totally overran their entire system because so many people were tuning in.
Yeah.
So although they didn't want, obviously, people not be able to watch.
And they're just foot on the gas. I mean, they announced this morning that Beyonce is going to be the halftime performance on those Christmas streaming games. And I'm like, well, because you just announced that and people love Beyonce, you better buy a couple more servers. It's like us. You better buy some batteries at Walgreens.
They have Monday Night Raw starting in like 6-7 weeks live every Monday. They better be nervous.
I'd be really nervous because every single streaming thing I've ever watched on Netflix, and I've watched 2. I watched immediately following when we thought he was going to do a big thing about the slap, Chris Rock.
The Chris Rock, yeah.
That was terrible.
I watched that, not good.
And then they've done other stuff with their shows. They do live stuff. It's always bad.
The Tom Brady roast was live.
Yeah.
But those went off, at least live streaming-wise, went off without a hitch, I feel like. So I guess the interest in this was so much more than those events, which is very interesting.
What were the boys thinking? I'd be interested to think, like what is boxing to them? Were they like, oh, this is like, or do they not?
They were horrified by the female fight before because that lady had a giant gash in her eyebrow.
It was pretty bloody.
I mean, you could see the fat in her forehead.
Oh,
you know, it was split open,
old
like
fat forehead,
an inch thick, and they were like, I can't look at that. And I'm like, that's, she got headbutted. I mean, this is real fighting.
Fighting,
And so that's why I was trying to explain, like, what Tyson and Jake Paul did. This is like sparring. sparring.
Yeah.
This is not like they both obviously are not out to knock each other out or like go at each other 100%. You could see that Tyson held himself back.
Yeah.
It was totally obvious. Like it was no way for him to hide that. Everybody watched it. And then
he's been under the microscope as a boxer for too long for us to not know how he boxes.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying of all boxers, he's one we know how they box.
Yeah, he's like the most popular boxer for the last 30, 40 years.
It's like
And they released training videos of him at this age, and he was obviously super fast.
Fast and strong.
Way faster than he appeared
you
in
brought
this
it
thing.
up this morning. He has to want it, and he didn't want to. It was apparent he didn't care about that night.
So this is what here's my prediction on what I think happened. I think they went into this, and Jake Paul knew that Tyson was wavering whether he even wanted to do this. He probably knew it from the beginning.
Anymore. You don't have the animal.
Yeah, and then I think that they
Although
were.
the interview with that little girl he did before the fight was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was a great interview.
They were obviously incentivized to make the fight last as long as possible, right? Like we could tell by them not trying that hard. But
Well said.
And I also think that Jake Paul wanted Tyson
I
to
do
go
too.
way harder.
I do too.
And at the end of the fight,
Because it's better for him. You don't want to be the guy that had a fight with Tyson and Tyson didn't do nothing,
Yeah.
and you just
No one
stood there and
think-
took a payday.
no one that watched that fight thinks that Jake Paul is a badass boxer
or a
No.
legitimate
Like,
boxer.
Yeah,
his
no.
record is BS.
Which
Yeah.
maybe that's what was Tyson's thing. Maybe that's his way out, right? I get the 20 mil. I don't put my heart into it.
You
Well,
get this
Tyson
money-
got 10.
Oh,
Jake
did he
Paul's
get-
got the 20.
Oh, I thought it was 40 and 20 was the numbers.
Oh, was it?
Heard.
Oh,
I heard
okay.
it was 40 for Jake, 20 for Tyson.
Either way, they both got paid a lot of money,
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of money for a exhibition that wasn't even good. Not even a good exhibition.
No.
The Rocky Thunderlips fight in Rocky 3 was better than than this fight.
Someone paid $2 million for the tickets to that, and they got like super VIP. I read an article about some
that's
lawyer
the new thing. Cows
firm.
and Cabs had super VIP.
Yeah.
I'm getting that
The
next
$2
year.
million ticket.
It's like $1,000 ticket.
Could
Oh,
you
my
imagine paying $2 million to watch that boring ass fight?
Oh, terrible.
You know, people ask that, and I'm like, I'm going to start saying, yes, I can. Because I think the positive thinking of thinking that, yes, I can, will be more beneficial to me going, no, I can't. I'm poor.
Manifest that for yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
So anyway, this is what I think happened.
I'd have been mad, though, if I went and paid anything even close to $500 to take it. I'd be very, very mad.
Yeah.
Very mad.
And I think that they went into it where it was Jake Paul wanted Mike Tyson to try harder, and they didn't know how hard he was going to try.
Yeah.
And then during the fight, it was obvious that he wasn't
Because
trying.
you can't really ask him, right? You can't pull him aside and be like, hey, Tyson, so you know what we're doing tonight, right? Because that is like not real. Right?
They make
So
the
you
agreement
keep
in a
it-
way without making the agreement
yeah,
out loud.
It's the old Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Like, is he going to drop the belt? We won't know until he drops the belt.
Yeah, right.
I think it's that.
It happens
I think
in the
it's,
ring.
Yeah.
Will Tyson let me knock him out, or will he knock me out? You won't know
Yeah,
until
yeah.
you get in there,
Yeah,
and he will decide when he gets
Yeah.
in there. And I think he got in there, and he didn't have the fire.
And I swore, I was like watching the fight. I was like, this last round, Tyson's going to come out hard and it's going to end like
Oh,
a
did you tell
WWE.
the boys that? Because I would have
Yeah.
thought that too.
Yeah.
I would have thought
and then
that
I'm like,
too.
watch this. He's waiting. And then as time was going by, I'm like, oh, 1 minute left. He's still not doing anything.
still not doing anything.
And then with 10 seconds left of the fight, they just stopped.
Yeah,
and then Paul starts bowing to him, and Tyson's like, hey, just smiling.
It was stupid.
And I'm like,
It was like they gave up way too early.
awful.
and it was like you didn't even pretend to really want to try to win or like give the audience anything. It was
Yeah.
like they
And guess
completely
what?
gave up
and
at the
guess
end.
what? We'll be right back there next time they do it.
I don't know. I think
Do you think this did this change people? Because this is
I saw a lot of people saying that no more. I'm done with this.
none of the fake fighting. We're done with it.
Well, who does Jake Paul have to fight next that could draw any sort of interest outside of, I mean,
well, he's gonna have to start really fighting.
he has to
now,
fight
right?
real boxers. Last time he fought a real boxer, he lost. So
He called out Conor McGregor for an MMA fight, although McGregor will never fight him. The guy's 100 pounds more than McGregor.
He's
he's
half
not
the size of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, obviously McGregor's an insanely better MMA fighter, but with a 100-pound weight advantage, he's never going to get in the ring. What does McGregor have to win?
he has no benefit.
Why
Yeah.
would you even do that? You're acting. You have a Lamborghini boat.
Yeah,
Like,
unless
no.
he needs the money, which he
No,
probably doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He's got proper 12. He's fine.
Yeah.
That guy, he don't need that.
But
I think he's done with fighting anyway. That guy's a drug addict and a partier. Like, all he
true.
wants to do is, like, if you read any of the news stories about Conor McGregor and how puffy his face is, they think that guy's got a serious party problem. Like, he's like not with his family a lot, and then you'll catch videos of him, and he's you know, he's fist pumping.
You just sit around waiting for Roadhouse 2 to
Fist
get
pumping
greenlit
like
so you get more
Pauly
drug
D,
money.
dancing around Europe.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, I mean, it's a great life, but it's not.
If you can live it.
I mean, it's not healthy for you.
Anyway, the fight was super disappointing.
I'm sorry, man. At least you got to see it.
Sorry,
well, no, at least you got to see it. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to see it.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
wanted to watch it.
I like being a part of those like spectacles and stuff like
exactly.
that.
I grew up a Tyson fan. I mean, it was nostalgia. It worked on me. You know, I tuned in for Tyson.
Was it immediately available for streaming? Or do like
It's
some
probably the
people,
next day.
The next day it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next day when I woke up, it was still on Netflix when I came down. I looked at it and it was up there.
Yeah.
And
You're
it was
watching
number
now.
one, you know, like you could go in there and I'm sure that they went in and made it look good so you could watch it. But there was really nothing to watch. So
Yeah, what a bummer.
want to talk some movies, buddy?
Yeah, let's talk some movies.
Hangover, Mike Tyson. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's when he was fat, too.
Tigers hate cinnamon or pepper. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Something about
Yeah,
tigers.
some
Yeah.
dumb.
That, and then it did in the air tonight, whatever.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, there's a lot of, and they still release a lot of, like, I guess, blockbuster or Academy Award
Bigger movies. Yeah.
this time because it's closer to the Academy Award, so they're hoping that it's fresh in people's mind, right?
Absolutely. They typically try to release any movie that might have a chance at Oscars would typically be October or later because voting for the Academy starts in January. Nominations announced shortly after that. So you see a lot of movies come out like December. They'll even do limited release Christmas in New York and LA because that's where majority of your voters are.
Right.
And then the rest of the country doesn't even get the movie until mid-January. That happens sometimes. But yeah, so there are still a handful of movies, both hoping to make a lot of money from the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then also hoping to get that Oscar bump early next year, and then the movie make money, you know, a little longer, home video, rental, stuff like that. Yeah.
So, are there any movies that that you could see like, oh, they're doing this because this could potentially be an Academy Award?
Absolutely, sure.
Movie? Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, a big one is coming out this weekend is Wicked. That's both.
Okay.
They're both looking to make a ton of money and win awards. I can see it already being nominated for all sorts of technical awards, costuming, production design, music,
People
stuff
that
like
I care about, smart people that know movies, and maybe people that we know about that work at Universal
Mm-hmm.
have seen advanced copies of this because of what they do, and they are saying, holy smokes, it's good.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a feeling.
really, like, make you cry good.
I have a feeling Universal is big on Wicked. They get to see the movie first. I think they're big on it because they open up this whole Wicked experience thing over at Universal Studios where you walk in and they have costumes and props there and they're selling all sorts of Wicked merchandise. I think they're confident that's going to do well, that people are going to like it, and that it'll be a cash cow for them where maybe for Epic Universe, which is opening next year, you know, it's huge, but they have a lot of open space still there to use. That they might open an Emerald City or a Land of Oz type thing expansion at Epic Universe eventually, because if they have the rights to Wicked and all that stuff, and it's a big movie, which they're planning on it being, then why not utilize it even more money-wise? You know, you have the Yellow Brick Road, going to the Emerald City and all that. It's easy. It'd be easy to turn that into a theme park.
It would be, and it would be. It's like almost like it made itself a theme park.
Almost,
you know, it's like,
yeah.
It's designed.
You got the
to do
design
that.
there. You got the flying monkeys.
Something
and stuff.
that made me very proud this weekend, walking through Target, and I'm like looking at all the wicketing, all of the, I was going to say marketing, all the marketing for Wicked on everything, and there are like Wicked Oreos.
Yeah.
Or something, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, look at that, that's Ariana Grande. And my daughter looks at me and goes, no, it's not. And I'm like, yeah, that's Ariana Grande. She's like, no, that is Glinda. And I'm like, no, that's played by Ariana Grande. And she's like, I didn't know that. And I was like, okay, thank God. I like that. I like that she didn't know that. I like that she was just going with the character.
Just happy that was Glenda?
Yeah, I like that.
Wow.
I like because that's the only bad thing that I've really heard about this is it's got Ariana. She's
I'm not a big
take
fan.
her or leave her.
I'm not a big
right,
fan of
right,
hers,
right.
but I have read online that she is great in the movie.
heard she's really good.
She's very funny. Obviously, she's a good singer.
Oh yeah,
so
excellent vocalist.
yeah, I'm sure that she's great casting for the movie. So Wicked's coming out this weekend. It's gonna be really big. Also, Gladiator 2 comes out this weekend. That's gonna be really big.
All right, so with the Wicked,
Yeah.
I have to go see this because
You're not gonna like it.
Crystal's sister, for her birthday, she just turned 30. She wanted to.
Oh my God,
take
really?
everybody out to go see Wicked and then go to dinner after.
At least it's going to be quality. You may not like it, but it's going to be well done.
It should be. I mean, it's gonna be expensive. That's for sure.
Yeah, musical, not my
Not your
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
No,
it
no,
is
no,
a
no.
full-on musical.
Yeah.
But it does have, I mean, I will say, if you picked one, the music in that one is better than most, but still, you're not going to like it.
I mean, it must be good because how long has that Broadway show run for?
30
I mean,
years?
for a
20 years?
long time.
20 years?
Yeah, it's one of the longest
Defying
running shows.
Gravity, that's the big hit from
Yeah,
that,
I think
right?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I said the same thing about Phantom of the Opera that I was dragged to.
Yeah.
70 years.
Stinks.
Yeah, yeah,
Mamma Mia stinks.
All right.
So I have two
Yeah,
stinks.
Wait,
I
this could
can't
be the
imagine.
third time's a charm.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is your third. You did Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
And
For
you did-
me.
You did Phantom of the Opera, and now you're going to do Wicked.
Just not into
I
it.
guarantee you're going to hate this one, too.
So I don't even know what the plot of Wicked is. I pieced it together. Obviously, I'm like I knew it's a Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Like
Break it down for us.
It seems like the Wicked Witch is misunderstood, and she is not as bad as they portrayed in the Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
And
yeah.
then
Yep.
it's about the two sisters' relationship, and but that's all I got.
Yeah.
Is that kind of right?
I think so, yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's also perfect for your wife and her sister to kind of go to.
Oh, sure,
That's a
sisters,
very,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
coming of age, kind of turning 30. I can see it. I get it.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
the 10 Man in this?
No.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't think so.
There's a lot of like
Dorothy, none of that.
Not really. No.
No, it shouldn't be Dorothy. I mean, you will get the wizard. That's Jeff Goldblum in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of
Yeah.
an origin story for Elphaba, which is the
Wicked Witch.
the Green Witch.
Yeah.
And then Glinda, who's the regular old, standard.
And she's a
Standard
princess, or she's a
No,
witch
they're
too?
both witches, right?
Okay,
There's
she's
a
just a
wicked-
good witch and a
One's a
bad
quote
witch.
good one, one's a bad one.
Right, there's
yeah.
a wicked witch, and then there's the good witch of the. Where's she from?
East.
Is it the East?
Yeah, Good Witch of the East, Wicked Witch of the West.
I don't
Because
know.
you have the alliteration, Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, come on, that's a lot of fun
good.
to say.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Is there a northern or southern witch?
There
here?
is, yeah. The Southern
Did
witch
they
is
bring it up?
Southern witch is Paula Dean.
Oh,
Northern
she
witch-
said the N word.
Yeah, she did. Southern witches are allowed to say the N word.
So, what other possible?
Sure, big ones. Well, like I said,
Big
Gladiator,
ones where?
Big ones everywhere.
Oh.
Gladiator 2, because the first one was the Best Picture winner. It's really Scott's only Best Picture winner. The guy has a very storied, amazing career full of big movies, but Gladiator, empirically, is his most successful one. So it's one of the only ones he's made a sequel to, which is pretty wild. Early reviews for that are very good. It's supposed to be very entertaining. The lead in it, Paul Mescal, is supposed to be magnetic, is what I'm reading, that he's
A lot
so
of
good.
Caesar haircuts.
It's a lot of Caesar haircuts. Denzel uses maybe some modern phrases in the movie, apparently,
does
which
he?
is pretty funny. Yeah,
He's
that's what I'm
like-
reading.
He's like, you are on fleek.
Yeah, that'd be great if you said that.
Yeah.
So that one, I mean, that could be
He's
really
like-
good too.
And then they're telling him, they're like, kill him or not kill him. And they're looking at Denzel, and he's sitting up there, and he goes, Skibbity, Ohio!
Thumbs down, Skibbity.
Skibbity toilet to you all!
Now, is Big Fat Crow gonna make a?
Big fat
cameo?
girl. I love Big Fat Crow.
I don't
He
think
comes
so.
out there and he
No.
goes,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be your champion, Skibbity!
It'd be funny if his ghost came back from the first movie, but he's fat. Like, how'd you gain weight in the afterlife? What's happened there? Yeah.
Tracy is saying, I heard he kissed a man, and that got cut out of the movie.
Yes, Denzel does kiss a guy, and I guess maybe it was an improv moment.
Give me that skibbity old ding dong. Skibbity ding dong. Did he do skibbity ding dong?
Yeah, Skibbity ding dong, that
Yeah,
mouth.
did he do that?
Apparently, I think he might have improv that bit, and then they're like,
He
we're-
improved a man kiss?
so.
Hey, that's gay. You're
yeah.
gay.
'Cause
Imagine you're the actor working with Denzel, and all
He
of a sudden
just kisses you?
Yeah, you
That's
reach.
called assault. You can't do that to ladies.
not if it's in a movie.
You know how many times I wanted to do
Was
that?
that-
Sam
it
was
was
here
off
for
script.
years. I wanted to lean over and kiss her.
It was off script. It was a part of like all of a sudden you're
You're
just.
not allowed to do that.
It's like I was in the moment. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, every woman I come in contact with, I want to kiss, but I'm not allowed to do that because
Yeah.
that's called assault, Denzel. hell?
And if Denzel Washington leans in to kiss you, you have to
kiss him.
yeah,
you have to.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
do more than kiss him. I'll tell you right now. I'll give him that training day 69. I'll 69 him training day.
And the whole time you're kissing him, you're like, this isn't even in the script. What the hell's happening?
Are the cameras on? What are we doing?
Oh, the whole time I'm kissing him, I'm like, how does he stay so healthy? So he's such a good kisser.
How does he smell so good?
And old people, their teeth stink.
They do. They do.
No matter what, they're a little
no matter
bit
what,
rotten.
the floss can't fight the floss. Can't fight the
Hey,
floss.
you're in your 60s. Your life of your teeth can't last
No matter
that long.
what, you have a stinky mouth.
He's like 70.
Yeah,
he's
you
like
have
70.
70-year-old
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Think about most politicians' mouths smell like bungholes.
Yeah,
Bungles and Zin packs.
because they're old.
Like you were supposed to die at 30. That's a human life. Seriously.
Yeah.
Can we take a quick break? I need to go change the Zen pouch in my foreskin. I have a Zen pouch in my foreskin. Every show I do a fresh one.
That's where it absorbs the fastest.
Yeah, they said that I'll get some irritation down there, but I have yet to see it.
So-
That's the reverse boofing.
Any other movies, Chris?
Another big one that's going to be for they think it's going to be an awards contender, hence the Christmas release date. It's a movie called A Complete Unknown, and it's a Bob Dylan biopic.
All right.
Hold on. I have a beef with this movie.
Okay.
This is
Perfect.
This is Timothy Shambalama Ding Dong.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
yes.
this is Chalamet, and they're saying that he worked for 5 years with a harmonica coach.
No way.
To
Really?
learn how to learn harmonica, and I call straight BS mega BS.
That possible.
5 years? You
No
worked
way.
5 years with no harmonica
He
coach.
was barely working 5 years
Chalamet,
ago.
you're 5 years old 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's
Chalamet.
crazy.
He's
Yeah.
lying to us, right?
That sounds-
I read this on Friday and I printed it out.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like he was like in an interview. He's like, "Yeah, I worked with a body image coach and like body movements. I worked with a harmonica teacher for 5 years, so I could play just like Dylan." Well, first of all, Dylan plays horrible harmonica.
Yeah, he's not that good.
Yeah, it's not going to take you 5. I mean, if you'd said John Popper from Blues Traveler, maybe I would give you that Chalamet.
Or maybe a little Steven Tyler.
No one
biopic.
asked
Yeah.
him, like,
Yeah, honking on Bobo.
they asked you to do this role 5 years
No,
ago?
he didn't.
He
No.
lied.
Before COVID?
He lied.
It wasn't,
He lied.
it wasn't even a project back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Straight up lie.
That's a weird
He
quote
lied.
from
I'm
the
calling him out.
But the marketing does look good. Marketing looks good. James Mangold is a pretty good director. And musical biopics do well. Actually, the director is the same guy who did the Johnny Cash one like 15 years ago with Joaquin Phoenix. That won all sorts of awards. Joaquin Phoenix got Best Actor. So it's kind of a no-brainer for the money people, for the purse holders, to be like, yeah, we'll let this guy make another biopic of a 60s musician that, people of a certain age love.
Oh, I just thought of a meme. You could do Walking Phoenix and then Running.
Running.
Write that down. Write that down. I'm going to do that. I'm going to
quick.
do that. That's what I'm going to work on later today. 'Cause that's where the money's at, not this stupid podcast.
I just dress like a runner, Clef Palette.
Yeah, perfect.
Running
Perfect.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
So the what's up with Bob Dylan and the fact that I feel like people either love
him,
yeah.
like really are obsessed with Bob Dylan's
Yeah.
music, or completely disinterested.
Yeah.
And
So a
it's
lot
not
of
like they're
Songwriter. Like to my songwriter friends, people look at him and they're like, "Oh my God, he just had that way of being able to tell a story that other people can't do." I honestly,
is it folk music?
it is.
Okay.
but
Started out as, for sure. folk
I don't
music.
see it. I'm not anti Bob Dylan.
I
But
think
there's people that like people that love Bob Dylan, love the Beatles. It is very polarizing.
and it's just like Tom said. I feel like not many people out there hate Bob Dylan. Either you love him or you're like, whatever. He sings,
Yeah,
he sings
I'm
kind of
okay
weird.
with him.
Yeah,
He's
like
fine.
he has a harmonica. I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he went
fine.
electric. Okay, cool. Yeah,
He's fine. I think everybody's Dylan. Oh man, without Dylan, oh man. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever,
whatever.
That's
yeah,
fine.
but the movie looks fun though.
Did he have a super interesting life? Like, I don't know anything about Bob
I think
Dylan.
one of the most interesting things about him, besides how he got popular in the 60s and 70s through music, is that he made up a lot of stuff about his life, and he was always giving people different answers. So he's
a liar.
He's a liar. Yeah,
He's like, let's call it what it is.
He's a liar.
Why are
No,
we like,
you're right.
he was just so creative with his backstory? No, he was lying to you
I was gonna
about
say-
what he did. It's like, Bob, what do you do? He's like, I'm a rocket scientist. You're
Yeah.
a liar.
I was gonna say he created an air of mystery around himself in a time before internet and social media, and when you could tell someone your backstory and it's completely fake, and how are they going to check up on you? They're going to drive to Missouri, to your fake hometown, to look people up. They just believe you. So he was a mysterious guy who wrote music that people liked and that just carried him through. Perfect time for him. You couldn't do that now in 2025, 2024. People be like, can see your Facebook profile. I
We
can
don't
see your
value
parents on
anything
here.
though now, right? Like we don't really value that.
That's true. Yeah,
But what I'm
it's
saying,
a different time now. That's
like,
very true.
besides from him being a liar, did he have any other
No.
interesting things that, like, I'm sure, like, he came up super poor
had, like,
and like he made
had a
it
cool
famous.
aesthetic,
Did he
right?
die?
Yeah, I think it's his aesthetic. It's the hair. I don't think you can discount the hair. He had the little curly fro.
He looked like
you know?
John Ralphio from Parks and Rec.
I don't know how Bob Dylan died.
Well, he did it,
He's
so that's
not.
how.
He's
No,
alive right now.
okay.
Yeah.
He's alive.
That's why you don't know.
Yeah, he's alive.
Because he's
right
still
now.
alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that
Okay.
crazy?
Yeah.
So why we never hear from him?
And
right?
now he wears like a cowboy hat, and he has funny facial hair, and he looks like an old man that'd be sitting out fried like a Kentucky Fried Chicken in like Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like you look at him now, and you're like, whoa!
What's
you
this
look crazy.
old retired man doing? I don't think he is making music anymore. Maybe it's possible that he just hasn't put out anything in a while.
No, I
maybe he's
think
just
he still
retired,
does.
or he does, or maybe just because we're not fans, so we don't hear about it. You
No,
know?
that's exactly it. I still think he does.
Does he still perform live?
He does.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the
oh,
Bob
he's
Dylan,
such a ghoul.
He is
now.
such a ghoul
Wow,
looking.
you're a ghoul.
But he still has his hair.
so
Wow, I
Bob
mean,
Dylan's
he'd look better
still
if it went away.
performing and still out there playing.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to this so everybody can. I want everybody to see him.
Yeah, I never, you never see Bob Dylan at the Grammys or anything, or not that I can think of, or
Right,
or like, any sort of award shows.
Yeah, it's not
or-
like if he
I
is
think
putting
he
out.
has been.
It's not like if he's putting out new music, it's getting played on the radio. Also, no one listens to the radio. It's like, how do people even hear about new music these days? You know, Spotify has never told me, hey, here's a new Bob Dylan release you may be interested in. So how do you find? You have to be a fan of his already to know what he's up to. I feel like you have to be following him. Or else, I mean, I feel like that's with any musical artist these days. Very little stuff gets put directly in front of you. You got to go looking for it.
So, do you think this is a case where, like, the Oscars realize maybe this gets nominated and they bring Bob Dylan out to perform
it's
at the Oscars?
Possible, or maybe even. I mean, this is a further shot, but maybe even having Chalamet perform. I could see him agreeing to something like that. A Bob Dylan performance would get more attention from the older crowd.
Oh, they
who
should have
obviously they're always trying to
Chalamet the
pull in.
God perform
Chalamet the God.
from The Breakfast Club.
I feel like that's an AI creation waiting to happen.
so
Chalamet
Timothy
the God.
Chalamet the God.
The God.
Okay, I'll do that. I will do that. Do I make him in blackface though?
Oh, that's for your
I
own
think I have
personal
to.
journey
I think
to
I
decide.
have to do it.
I'm not gonna.
I have to do it to be disruption.
You have to figure it
I have
out.
to be disruption.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's gonna. I mean, he'll probably be positioned for Best Actor nomination.
All right.
I think
Music
that's-
stuff.
That's
know,
what
yeah.
they're gunning for with the. That's why we're getting all of these horrible, articles about like the body language coach, the 5 years with the harmonica teacher. You
It's
know
all-
what I
yeah,
mean?
it's
They're
the PR
building the
stuff.
case.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're building the
Look
case.
how hard
to-
this guy worked.
Yeah.
And I like to say this, as often as possible. When it comes to Academy Awards, replace the word best with most. And typically you'll find out who's going to win. He might not be the best actor, but he might do the most acting in that movie.
Ah, that makes sense.
And then that's how you end up getting, attention from everyone because you're doing something big and showy. You may not be the best. Maybe someone did a more subtle performance that's actually great and heartbreaking. But Chalamet is out there doing this thing, and he's got a wig on, and he's playing the guitar. And people are like, look at this guy.
mixing up the medicine. Hey,
Exactly. Oh, we love this guy.
Yeah. See, I can do that.
Yeah, Chalamet is here. That's
I'm
incredible.
Chalamet.
There you go. You did it.
I'm Chalamet the Dan.
You're Chalamet the God.
It is easier to impersonate a ridiculous character.
A ridiculous
Yeah.
voice.
Who's over
yeah.
the top,
Sure.
than something subtle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, like if it's a nuance, it's
it's way
almost
harder.
super hard to do that.
Absolutely.
Can we rewind just for a 2nd because we didn't touch on this? I think with you, unless my memory is absolutely horrible. But what was the immediate fallout, or maybe the drawn out fallout of Joker 2?
Oh yeah, Joker Folie à Deux.
Because I
Completely
remember when that
bombed.
came out, and you and I didn't get a chance to talk about
Yeah.
it, but I was super impressed that Terrifier 3,
Made more money.
Terrifier 3 crushed.
Yeah, it outgrossed it on a fraction of the budget.
I like what you did there. It did outgross it because it's a disgusting movie,
It is.
too.
It is
Yeah,
disgusting
hyper
too.
violent.
Those movies are so gross.
They are so gross, but there's obviously a
market.
A market. There's so much money there. That was the number one movie talked about the week of Joker 2.
Yeah.
All of my friends were only talking about Terrifier 3.
Apparently, there's some sort of bathtub scene that's extremely gross in that movie that everyone was talking about. No one mentioned nothing.
It's a shower
from Joker.
scene.
A shower scene.
Yeah,
There
it's a
you go.
shower. They
It's gross.
put a chainsaw in an anus.
and
you know what?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you could. That's clinical.
Yeah, no, he said it was
Well,
he's all medical terms
That's what a
there.
doctor
Fully
would say. Like,
medical.
we got a chainsaw anus in here.
It was
Get in
a- it was a
here.
You should say
procedure.
it that way. You can't say the end part.
No, Joker Foley ad do. What went wrong with that? They made the movie that no one wanted to see. They made the movie that was just relitigating the plot of the first one. It's a courtroom drama, and the musical sequences I think aren't even that great. They're old show tunes that no one even remembers anymore. Lady Gaga wasn't even given as much of a platform that we're used to seeing her sing and perform in. So I think just word got out really fast. This movie is not what anyone wants, and it bombed horribly. The first movie made $1 billion. This one, domestically, I don't even know if it made $50 million here in North America. I mean, it did.
That's so crazy.
It did terrible.
Yeah, it absolutely insane to have
The
that
drop off
Joker
is
movie.
wild.
I had so many people telling me, "Oh, the original, the first Joker." They were like, "Oh, this is DC's back, baby."
Yeah, but people were. I was one of those people. But I think DC's back at this point because they're doing really well. And maybe 2 years later, all new management, all the movies since then bombed. The Flash bombed, Aquaman 2 bombed. All those movies bombed, and now they have new people in charge here making all new movies that we're waiting to come out next year.
Have you seen Terrifier 3?
I have not. I've only seen clips of some of the Terrifiers.
Have you seen
because I refuse
Red
to watch
1?
them. No, not yet.
I want to see Red 1.
That just came out this weekend, so I think I might go see that. It looks like such a turd, but I'm very fascinated.
I was going to bring my sons
It
to
looks
go
fun,
see that.
though. It looks like it's going to be a
Got The
turd.
Rock. It's
Chris Evans.
Stupid.
My girlfriend wants to go see. He calls it Chris Evans. He's not in that many movies lately, especially movies in theaters. For some reason, he's stuck in the streaming world, which is strange because he's Captain America. He's America's ass. People love him, but all the movies he does are like going straight to Apple or whatever, straight to Netflix, and then you watch them and they kind of stink. Like, what's this guy needs to fire his agent. But the Red One came out in theaters. He got paid for it, so hopefully we'll see more of him. I like Chris Evans. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Although he's kind of just a boring white dude.
Yeah, we got a lot of those.
yeah.
Well,
just
he's
like-
one of the least
uninteresting.
boring of the boring white dudes, maybe.
Yeah.
What about
of the Chris's.
What about the best Christmas pageant ever?
That looks cute. That looks like a it's obviously like a faith-based type of movie.
It does seem faith-based, but I Googled it, and they're demanding. They're like, no, it's not a Christian movie, but it's based off of a book from 1972 of the same name, but it's like it did look. It's got what's
Pete
her name?
Holmes, and it has
Pete Holmes, and then I forget the blonde redhead that I like. It's got her Judy Gold,
Judy Greer.
Judy Greer.
Judy Greer.
Judy Greer.
Yeah, she's
Yes,
fantastic.
She's
yes,
great.
Yeah.
It looks good, but it does look like something my mom would have watched on Hallmark.
100%. It looks like an expensive Hallmark movie, like a Hallmark movie that might be kind of good. I'm saying kind of good. But yeah, they don't make too many movies like this. Just a straight up Christmas movie with like a nice message of being kind to people.
Chat room is saying it is 100% a Christian movie.
Fully. I mean, the trailer makes it seem like such a Christian film.
Which is weird because why would Pete Holmes be in there? Like, is he?
Pete Holmes grew up Christian. He was a child preacher, I believe.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He had a hardcore Christian background that he has kind of wrestled with in his adult life. I listen to a bunch of his podcasts, so he talks about religion a lot. And I don't know if he's a devout Christian now, but he has a lot of that stuff in you. I mean, you get brainwashed when you're in the church for 20 years. I know all about that.
It does look very much like how I grew up. Like when I watched the movie, I'm like, oh, this is how I grew up.
Yeah, a little small town put on a Christmas pageant. I mean, it looks ridiculous, but also looks cute. It also doesn't look like other faith-based quote Christian movies that come out lately, like The God's Not Dead, stuff like that, where it's all like we're taking a current social issue and we're hammering it home and we're driving our points in. It just seems like a type of movie where the message is be nice to each other, be kind, don't judge, kind of traditional.
Have you seen Fireproof Christmas?
the sequel?
Yeah, it's about a guy it's about a fireman who's addicted to online pornography. And he tries to stop.
He tries to
stop fapping around Christmas.
Yeah,
and he's visited by three spirits.
The fapping spirits of past.
The fapping goes to fapping past.
Is there any other Christmas movies that are coming out that are like?
You mean like holiday themed?
Yeah,
I think that's the only one.
You like Christmas movies? I love them. Love them.
Well, it depends. I like.
But if you want to destroy all of them, go watch that T.J. Watt family Dix commercial where they reenact all of the most famous parts of all your favorite holiday movies. The Watts family.
Okay, where is that on?
TJ, JJ, all the whole, and it's on like when you're watching football. There's like a horrible Dix commercial, and he does the He does the Santa Claus, you sit on a throne of lies. He plugs the lights in and the whole Christmas lights come out on the dicks. The Esser's full. He does it all. You're the Watt family. You guys are terrible. Terrible actors.
Dick's still pumping a lot of money into their TV advertising, I'll tell you.
Horrible commercial.
Then you go to a sporting goods store and it's empty.
Yeah,
where
there's
are
nothing
people?
in there.
Where are the people? I don't know about another Christmas movie, but I think, funnily enough, on Christmas Day, a big release for me is going to be the movie Nosferatu. That comes out on Christmas, and it's a remake of the Nosferatu film, a vampire film, which is essentially an unauthorized version of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's like the same story. I think it's in black and white, and it's directed by the guy who did The Witch and The Northman, and his name's Robert Eggers. He makes very adult films, and the early reviews for this movie are through the roof. People are saying it's a masterpiece. I mean, they're hyping it up too much now. They're saying the movie is terrifying, the scariest film made since The Exorcist. I'm like, no way. Relax, guys.
down.
I know, exactly. So Christmas,
With Nosferatu,
Christmas
he's got
night, I'm hoping to be there.
Nosferatu's got the I read this over the weekend. Like a regular vampire, you look at a regular vampire, his canines,
The fangs,
are long.
Yeah.
But not Nosferatu.
They're in the front,
The front two are long.
like a beaver.
Which makes it way crazier.
Yeah, way more animalistic.
Way
He's got
crazier.
beaver vampire
He's got beaver
teeth?
vampire.
Yeah.
He's the beaver pyre.
Yeah. If you look up pictures of the original Nosferatu from like 1922, pictures of Count Orlok, like promotional pictures, it's frightening images of this guy who played a vampire back in the 20s.
All those in favor of changing EJ's name to Count Orlok, say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion passes. You are now Count Orlok.
There you go.
Oh, Chris, we got to go.
Okay.
So if you want to hear Chris's podcast, it's Cinema Crespediso podcast. You can find it where all podcasts are heard.
Patreon.com/Crespo. So we also have the Who's the Baddie podcast, which I just started with Matt Opferman. Actually, he started it, asked me to produce it. It was all his idea. I don't want to take any credit. It's another movie podcast with a very specific angle, examining movies from the bad guy's perspective. Who's the real bad guy of the movie? We have 2 episodes out now, new episodes every Wednesday. Who's the Baddie? Just look it up. It'll come right up.
Yep. Who's the baddie? Great show. Really
you.
good show.
Thank you
Highly
so much.
recommended.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You invited me to do that in the next couple of weeks. So I'm trying to figure out what movie.
I already got mine.
I'm thinking about going Shawshank.
Oh.
And,
you should. I think you have to.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
think you
one.
have
Good
to.
choice for a baddie.
Yeah. And,
Fun.
He
mine.
was crazy the whole time.
You know mine. And you know that the grandma in Coco is the worst person in the world.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an easy
I
one.
hate her so much.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you in a minute.